Hello, my name's Ray. I run a blog called budgetshooting.com. It's a blog that is dedicated to budget-friendly shooting solutions. Today, I kind of want to go over my 223 trainer build. All the blog posts that are currently on the blog are related to that. It's just a fun little plinking toy that we've actually taken out to 1,000 yards. Obviously, with 223, you're not going to reliably be shooting that far, but this thing is just a blast within 600 yards, just hitting steel over and over and over. I love this thing. It's been so accurate out of the box, especially for a low-price rifle. I've got some cheaper accessories on it. The optic is more of a low to mid-range. So I'll kind of go over the build a little bit. I've got it here. As you can see, the stock is not the factory color. It was actually painted in a green color by a buddy of mine. He thought he wanted the color for his, ended up not liking it. I thought it was kind of cool, a little bit flashy for a trainer, but obviously it doesn't affect the overall function of the gun. I think it looks cool. Still waiting on the Oryx chassis to come out from MDT. I was told this summer sometime is when those are supposed to release. And yeah, I'm just waiting for that. I've actually got another compass in 6.5 that currently has a Boyd's Pro Varmint stock on it. And as soon as the Oryx chassis is released, that'll probably get a chassis. The Pro Varmint will move on to this thing. So the basics of the build, it's a Thompson Center compass in 5.56. I'm happy that it comes in 5.56 because based on what you read online and what you hear, 5.56 is a stronger chamber, so it can handle the higher pressure 223 loads pretty easily. Not a whole lot done to it, action and barrel-wise. Not a whole lot of accessories available for them right now. The market is getting bigger because these cheap guns are getting more popular. But this one's got a pretty basic build. It's got a Old Beaver Gunsmith trigger spring in it. Pretty lightweight. It's made for a Winchester Model 70. It happens to fit this trigger assembly perfectly. I've got a couple of the adjustment nuts out of it to allow a little bit lighter of a trigger. It has a Glades Armory bolt handle. I think it's their biggest one available, and I kind of regret that a little bit. When you try and cycle the bolt, it likes to hang up just because of the pressure it puts on the side. But it does help with manipulation of the bolt. As you can see, we're all clear. The trigger, after measuring it, is roughly 2 pounds of trigger pull, I believe. Super light, really nice, crisp trigger. I've been super happy with that setup. I know M-Carbo is an option too. I actually run that in my other gun, and I would say the feel of them is very similar. I did like the M-Carbo kit because it comes with all of the other reset springs and sear springs and everything. The Old Beaver Gunsmith just comes with the trigger pull weight spring. But for 10 bucks on Amazon, can't really be beat. It has an EGW 20 MOA rail on it right now. The scope is an Athlon Argos BTR. Got it on Amazon with the Vortex rings, and it was just barely over $300, and I have been super impressed with this optic. Obviously, it's not going to blow away any high dollar name brands, but it does perform very well for the price, especially on something like this, 223. It's just a trainer. I don't need to go spending thousands of dollars on an optic when I'm going to be shooting inside 600 yards for the most part. This has plenty of travel that I'm ever going to want out to 600, 700, 800 yards. I didn't even have the EGW rail on it at the time that we did the 1,000-yard shot, and it performed flawlessly. Plenty of adjustment in the scope. Parallax on the side is a really nice feature. It's illuminated. Don't really use that feature. It's something that I could do without in an optic, but it was on there. Came with scope caps from Amazon. I had to buy the sunshade, which is kind of a necessity in Arizona. It gets really bright. The glare can get bad on certain times of day when we're out there shooting. The bipod on this thing is a CV Life bipod off of Amazon. Also really cheap. I think these things are like $15.99 or something like that. It's a Harris clone, but based on what I've found from some of the knockoff Amazon brands, this has the best quality. I actually have 7 of these things, and surprisingly, they all have been holding up very well. I tried out the first couple thinking it was just going to fall apart and I was going to have to buy a Harris, but I've been so impressed with these things that I just keep buying them because they're cheap versus having to buy one expensive bipod, swap them across guns every time I want to shoot. I can have a dedicated bipod for every gun that I've got. For the barrel, I just have a cheap tank brake. I thought it'd be kind of funny to put a hilariously large brake on this thing, even though it's just a 223. Obviously, being a 223, there's not a whole lot of recoil on the thing, so a brake isn't necessary. It didn't do anything. It didn't hurt or help performance in any way, but I just like having it on there. The whole thing is kind of a cheesy looking race gun being painted green with a giant tank brake on it. But yeah, overall, it has done really well. It's very consistent anywhere from 100 to 600 yards on the plates that we have set up at our range. It just takes a little bit of dialing and knowing what your dope is on all of those to adjust in between shots, and it's never really let me down. It'll go 5 for 5 at 500 yards without issue with good ammo. Yeah, overall, it's just been a really solid option. I'll probably do a few more in-depth videos on it about the modifications that were done. If you're not too worried about video format, you can check out my blog, budgetshooting.com. It's got all of the photos and everything of the modifications that I've done to it, other than the paint and rail. But yeah, overall, I've been very happy with it. As far as ammo goes, being a 1-in-9 twist, it doesn't like anything too heavy, so that leaves out some of the high BC bullets available from Hornady and Sierra. But it has done really well with low 70 grain, 72 grain IMI with the Razor core, which runs a Match King bullet, I believe, has done really well in this. That's actually what we use to get hits at 1,000. And typical 223 being blown around with the wind, it wasn't consistent at all, but I was really impressed with that ammo. It just gets me dead on from 600 and in. But yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to do a quick little introduction video for the blog. Need to get a feel for these things, but I do want to start posting some more content more regularly, not only on the blog, but on this YouTube channel. So stay tuned if you want. I have a couple of other builds I'll be going over in the future. I have another budget setup just like this. It's a Compass in 6.5 with a couple of other modifications on it that I had mentioned. And then I've got a couple of other ARs and 22 stuff that I've been getting into that are also just fun trainers / plinkers. So I'll go over those. But subscribe if you like. I will try and get this content out, get a little bit more comfortable with the editing process and everything, but I'm really gonna try to get some videos out. So subscribe if you want. Check out my blog. Just keep an eye on this if you want to expand your horizons into the budget side of shooting, because it is just as rewarding and nearly as accurate as some of those high dollar builds out there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you.